Certainly a lot going on today with the San Jose Sharks, but it does appear that they have started the process of officially ending their relationship with forward Evander Kane. Let's go to the team statement from a couple hours ago. The Sharks have informed Evander Kane that he has been placed on unconditional waivers with intent to terminate his contract for breach of his NHL standard player contract and for violation of the American Hockey League's COVID-19 protocols. The club will have no further comment on this matter. Now, I don't know if any of this comes as a complete surprise. Certainly Evander and the Sharks players and the Sharks as a team, they've all kind of gone separate ways in recent days and weeks and months. There hasn't been that unity, that coming together. But hearing this news and hearing a breach, and now the Sharks officially starting this process, definitely catches a lot of eyeballs. I don't know that anybody should necessarily be satisfied. I mean, Evander might get to move on somewhere else. The team might get to move on and start to build their club in a different direction. But ultimately, this is not how anybody saw it or anybody wanted it back when the Sharks signed Evander to that 7-year, $49 million deal. And quite honestly, even the way he played on the ice last year, no question, he was the best player on the team last year. Nobody wants this to happen like this. But like I said, so much to digest here. How do we even begin? How do we do this? I've decided to go past, present, and future. A quick look at the past. Evander joins the team via trade, makes an immediate impact, goes over really well inside the dressing room. Despite anything anybody had ever heard, he was a hit here in San Jose instantly and was handsomely rewarded 7 years and a $7 million a year contract, $49 million total. And then over recent times, the team issues apparently develop between players, and we go on reports here. There are things that have been said. I will not even dive into those deeply. All right, I'm going to leave what's out there to stand for itself from Evander's side and from what teammates have said and haven't said. But clearly, I mean, you don't even have to go into the details to understand that there was a bit of personal fallout, maybe between individuals. And look, that happens a lot in the NHL. That happens a lot in the professional world and in professional sports. So none of that alone is probably a big deal, or like I said, worth diving into every detail on. But clearly some disagreements and, not everybody seeing eye to eye or on the same page. And then Evander also, in the course of the last year or two especially, some personal issues, which, again, just like the team issues and specifics, I will go nowhere near those. Not for me to discuss. It's not my business. It's not my job. But I do think important to identify that he also has been dealing with a lot of other things despite just his responsibilities on the ice, which, by the way, were taken care of quite well. Whatever distractions were going on in his personal life in 2020 and 21, he certainly did not let those show on the ice. And as much as there's some negativity around Evander, I think one of the positives is that all the other things aside, he brought some of his best hockey in his career in the last 12 to 18 months with the San Jose Sharks. But then you also deal with more recent times, showing up to training camp this past year, apparently with a fake vaccine card. That earned him the 21-game suspension by the NHL. Then he is assigned to the San Jose Barracuda, only ends up playing 5 games, and yes, did recently test positive for COVID-19. Again, we don't know the details of what this breach of the AHL protocols was, so it's left to interpretation, but obviously something was there too. But again, very clear looking back, no path really for him to join the Sharks. Him being on the Barracuda was an opportunity to get his legs under him again, to play hockey for the first time in many months again, and to showcase himself, to hopefully earn a trade, keep the contract, earn a trade to a different team, and move on with his career. But that opportunity obviously has now come to an end. As we get to the present, all right, the Sharks have made it clear they're ready to move on. Certainly they see something here, and I refer to the statement. I keep referring to this, that there was a breach. They're not going to just make something up, put this out. this is something they feel that is necessary and worthwhile to move forward with. So again, we don't know now what that is. We may never know. I don't know even Evander's take on any of this, the back and forth. I don't know if there's going to be any or none, or if it will be public, or if it will all be behind closed doors. Certainly do not know. But as for right now, in the present, this alone, that I say that statement is a statement. Not much is officially said right here other than the door has now closed to the Sharks, to the Barracuda, to pretty much anything in San Jose. So I guess actually the present is quite simple to understand. But now the future. And like I said, I think part of the future of this is what happens next. How much back and forth is there with the team and the NHL Players Association and Evander? Look, the Sharks this season have oftentimes felt a superstar short on the ice. Now, it would have been great if all worked out. It would have been great if Evander Kane was that guy. That's how they designed it. That's what they'd hoped for, and we know he's capable of it. But that did not happen. So the Sharks have essentially been a little bit handcuffed, shorthanded, if you will, on their roster without the services of somebody who they procured, they signed, and did not want to use, did not want to reintroduce back into the team. So in a sense that people see this ultimately as maybe something that frees up the Sharks, that is true. Again, I don't know that anybody should be necessarily thrilled or happy over how this played out and now how the process moves on. But like I said, it does open the door of opportunity for the Sharks to fill that space with a different player and somebody of a similar skill set as Evander Kane. I also think it should come as no surprise if and when Evander Kane does sign with another NHL team. Now, the future of this, if it goes through and the contract is voided, I mean, Evander is losing out on that prior contract, which, could and should have been the biggest one of his career. That was a handsome reward. And I think that's why he will probably respond to this and his team will respond to this. I don't think you want to lose out on a contract like this that easy. But at the same respect, it's not to say that Evander won't get another opportunity elsewhere in this league. I truly, and ultimately, I think this is how it had to play out. He was going to have to play somewhere else to finish up the contract if he didn't get traded. So in a sense, Evander is losing, likely, if this goes through, the contract. That's upsetting to him. But at the same respect, I do think he'll get another opportunity. And I don't know duration or monetary value. I'm not going to predict that at all, but I would not be surprised one bit if by the end of this specific hockey season, Evander Kane is playing at the NHL level for a team other than San Jose. So I do feel like, in a way, this will free him up to move on himself, to get to another chapter, to get to a place where he can play, be productive, and move on with his career and make it lucrative again. Because it had definitely hit not even a speed bump in San Jose. It had hit, a closed gate that was not going to be opened up anytime soon. So again, a busy day, not necessarily shocking. I had always said what I wanted for Evander and what I wanted for the team was resolution. Wanted resolution on personal levels with everything going on in his personal life, in his professional career, for the team professionally. I just wanted everybody to be able to move on. It does seem like, what happened November into December, him joining the AHL team, that was an opportunity for him to play and move on. It didn't necessarily go anywhere. But now, we're really going to get moving on this process and see where it takes everybody. So again, I wish all parties the best, and I do wish everybody resolution here to this situation.